You know, I was thinking over the weekend, there are so many sad things that has happened lately in our country, but I think the most saddest thing, maybe it's number 2 on the list, the saddest thing is what has happened to men. When I was growing up, it was a given without even thinking about it. And it seemed that every adult knew about it, that you teach the boy how to be responsible as far as working and taking care of himself. Growing up, you make sure he works and be responsible. And when he become of age, 18, it was a given, without thinking about it, that he had to leave home. Now the girl, they were a little more lenient with the girl because they figured that she needed to wait until her husband would come and get her, right? But nowadays, ladies don't wait, because ain't no man coming for you. The guys are so weak, you might as well go leave mama and make your own life. But it was a given that when you turned 18, you were out. Growing up, now I may think of someone later, right? But I can't think of one guy that I knew in my family or went to school with or friends that when they turned 18, they were not out of their home. Whether going to college, and college wasn't a popular thing at that time, it was mostly just moving out, getting a job. And they prepared us for our career by teaching us to work. A career wasn't defined as a doctor or a lawyer, it was just a job is a career. Because as long as you can work, you have food on your table. And so it was a given that when we turned 18, that we would have to leave. And our parents were not afraid what's gonna happen, Lord, my baby, how will my baby make it? They didn't care, well, I don't know if they cared, but they were not concerned if you were killed out there on the first day. If you left home at 18 and at midnight you were dead, he didn't make it. You did. I raised that boy to be a man, but he didn't make it after 18. And it was just a given. It was just, I left home at 18. I know a whole bunch of other people, so I'm not bragging because it was a common thing. And I moved out to, where did I go? I went from Alabama, because I didn't know where I was going. But I knew I wanted to come to California. So I went to Indiana, got me a job for 2 weeks at Inland Steel. And I was working, it was the hardest, dirtiest job I ever had. I would rather go back to Alabama and pick cotton, plow the mule. But I did it for 2 weeks only, and on the second week, I got my paycheck and I quit. And I moved to California and at 18, and I was here maybe about a week or two and I got a job at a supermarket. But I wasn't thinking about life being hard or difficult at all, even though I was getting several jobs, moving to several apartments, just kind of living the life, you know, living in Roach's Hotel. And I never thought, maybe once I may thought of going home, and I'm saying that just in case. But I never thought about going home. I remember how you used to hitchhike. If you didn't have a car, you can catch a ride doing this on the road. I used to hitchhike all the time just because I went to LA City College for 1 week for one primary purpose, and that wasn't to get an education.
White girl.
Yeah, I wanted me a white girl. But, and then I got the white girl and then I stopped college. Isn't that crazy? The one class that I took was law. I took a law class there. And it was the best class I ever had. I loved law because I like debating the different cases and stuff like that, and as a lawyer would do. But anyway, so I went through so many stages of things. I met some weird people hitchhiking, but it was just weird people. They let me out the car when I got to my destination, right? And so I went through a different job, different situations, had tons of women, just did it all. And I never thought about life being hard. I never thought I gotta go back home to mama because the economy is bad and I ain't gonna be able to pay my rent. I would get 2 jobs if I needed it. I ended up on welfare one time, and I did that only because they told me that I was smoking weed then, and they said that if you're black, you don't have to work if you smoke weed. They really told me that, and I was in my 20s, and so I went and signed up for a welfare check, and they gave me a $100 food stamp, $300 cash, and at that time I owned a home. I already owned my home at the time. Isn't that something? They didn't care. As long as I said I was black and I was high. And then I got all kinds of free medical care, and I would take the welfare money and pay my house note because the house note was $300 a month.
You on Section 8?
Mm-hmm.
You Section 8?
It was called something else for guys.
Is it a voucher? Oh, I don't know.
I forgot what it was called. But so I had gotten this home. It was $300. It was a very nice home in the Jewish community, so you know it was nice. It was in the West LA area, not far from here. And I bought the house with no money, and then I would pay the note. I would make sure that I had food in the refrigerator, rent paid on that weekend, so I could get high all weekend, invite all my friends over, and we partied. And when I woke up, I had food in the refrigerator. I didn't do like the dope heads do now. They don't think to buy food first and pay their rent. But the point I'm making is that, I remember I sold my house. The first thing I bought was a 280Z.
Nice.
A sharp red 280Z. And I did that for the women. You know what amazing? The point is, I was so young living my life, and the sad thing is that the mamas are keeping the sons down today by keeping them at home and giving them a reason to stay at home. Oh, you need to save money. My parents put me out, and I didn't have no money. I caught a ride up to Indiana from a family member that was going back up there. They didn't say, oh, stay here and save money so you can move. They had already warned me that I was moving. At 18, they gave me the notice that at 18, you're moving out. And so, but the parents today, they have destroyed the young men. You're not supposed to tell your son to stay home and save money. You tell your son, because life is not about money. Life is about, especially for guys, but not only, life is about conquering the world, meaning being tough and making it through the hard times and not complaining about them and being independent. So if you do want to get married, your wife and children will be fine because you've already dealt with life. Life is not just about money. It's about the ups and the downs. It's about the mistakes you make and learn from them. It's about if you have to live on the street, live on the street. It's not just about making money. That makes sense? And for men, it was a given that we're supposed to be tough, not all emotional, not all afraid, not those things. You're not supposed to be that. It's abnormal. How will the world be, and not the men, how will the world be if the men continue to be like women? Weaker than the woman now. It ain't nothing for a man to be weak now. Let me see, should I use this story or not? I know several men in their 60s, and some of them still live with mama. And I can honestly tell you they hate their mothers because they blame her for everything now. But they hate her so much, they hate their mother so much they can't get away from them because the hatred makes them feel guilty if they have to leave, if they should leave. And the guilt, and mama's not going to tell them, don't feel guilty. She's like, no, you're doing fine, stay home. And the mother would encourage the daughters to get married and move, or to move before she would the son now. I know of several cases. Y'all don't know these people, so relax your mind. They're in a foreign land. One of the people, their mother expired, and this person like 61 now. This man is 61. The mother died, and they're so wiped out that all they do now is get drunk. They won't even go get a job. They keep asking me for a job. Like, oh, if you have something for me to do, let me know. I'm like, did you go out and look? Oh, no. I'm like, well, I'm not going to give you a job as long as you're not looking. They're like, well, you can pay me under the table. I ain't heard that term in so long. Do y'all know what it means, pay me under the table?
Yes.
It used to be a really black thing to do. What does it mean, Raymond?
It means you can pay somebody without declaring you paid them.
Yeah, pay them cash so they don't have to pay taxes. Isn't that crazy? I haven't heard that. I'm like, pay you under the table, what does that mean? But I'm like, why don't you look? I just can't do it. I'm depressed. I just can't leave the house to look for a job. And I said, you don't have to leave the house. Nowadays, they go on the internet and they do it. Oh, I know, but I want to get paid under the table. Ladies, set your sons free. If you love your sons, you will set them free at 18, but no later than 19. And don't be talking about the economy is bad. Get 2 jobs. A guy can work 2 or 3 jobs. And you ain't doing nothing else but getting hired on the cell phone. And guys, don't let your mama keep you at home. A mother that keeps the child at home after 18 don't love him. It's all for her personal ego feelings. Really, you don't love your sons. And I'm not talking about the daughters, but nowadays, because the daughters are becoming the men, you may have to get out and then go look for you a husband. Once you get a job, go back home to mama, one their mama, and get the husband and bring him home. Oh, another thing I know, men, as of this day, don't put your problems on the internet. That's not a manly thing to do. Let the women do it, and ladies, I wouldn't do it either if I were y'all. But let the ladies do it, man. Don't you do what the ladies, the men put their stuff on the internet just like the woman. Stop it. Do you know when I was growing up, and I still don't do it, I would never put myself, I remember when I left Alabama, I had a girlfriend, and she wanted me to write her. She's like, make sure you write me a letter. I was like, all right. I never wrote a letter. Never wrote a letter. Because I didn't think I should be putting my stuff on the paper, I love you, on paper. Because as soon as she get mad at me, she got the proof that I said I love her. I become the president, the first thing she gonna do is go on CBS and talk about, he said he loved me. Men, it's abnormal, don't do it. How many guys have already put your stuff on the internet? Don't be ashamed.
Not love stuff.
See that? Don't put no stuff. Do not share your stuff with a woman, and do not share it with a weak man. Because with a weak man, it's the same as sharing it. It ain't that important to be telling it anyway. Really. The human heart is wicked, is evil, and they'll use it against you. They can't help it. So guys, don't y'all do it. Let the women do it, but don't y'all do it. All right? And leave home. Go out there and make it. Make your life happen in the physical sense. That make sense? And your mama don't love you. My mama don't love you. And your mama don't love you, she's keeping you at home after 18. She doesn't love you. She's telling you, I don't love you. I don't believe you can make it, stay home. Be tough. Take the bumps and the grinds and the bumps and the grind. And don't think that this is too hard. Life is too hard. Life is not hard at all, unless you think that it is. I wasn't thinking that life was tough. That makes sense? Don't be afraid. Just get out there and live. And if you die, you're dead. If you don't die, you're alive. That makes sense, y'all? It's not. We need the world to rotate, and it's the men who make the world rotate. God in Christ, Christ in man, man over woman, and woman over children. And stop telling women and everybody your little stuff you go through. They can't do anything about it. They need to know that you are strong. All right? But anyway, to the mothers, let your sons go. They're not your husbands. They're not your boyfriends. Stop using them for your emotional needs. All right? Love them enough to set them free. My grandmother never checked on me when I left. She didn't call one time. My mother didn't call one time, and I wasn't expecting a call. I didn't know you're supposed to call them, and I didn't know Mama's supposed to be calling you. All this is new, and the world is getting weaker. All right, so smoke on it. Because I know a lot of guys who are suffering now because they've been held back by their mothers, and then the father, some of these guys are fathers in the home, and the father didn't do anything about it. Ain't no way my grandfather would allow me to sit up in the house and not be busy doing something that's more working around the house or doing something. And then when I turned 18, he was going to be satisfied with me staying home. That wasn't going to happen. He would have beat me, my grandmother, and the cat, the dog. He would have beat us all at the same time. You getting out of here. You got to be tough in life. It's okay to be a man, to be tough in life. All right? It's okay. Anyway, just for the record, because I'm hearing all these sad stories. And when I say sad, I don't feel sad about it, but it's just sad what's happening to the order of God. That's what's sad about it. Because it gives room to the devil, and the devil is winning. The devil wants the man to be weak. And he wants to pretend that the woman is stronger than the man. Because he knows it's not true. And that's why the men are under attack. And if you do get married or you make a baby out of wedlock, if the woman leave or doesn't want you to see your child or children, number one, know you're dealing with an evil woman. Any woman that was destroyed a child just to destroy you is evil. So if she don't want you to see the child, okay, bye. You can have the baby. Don't cut the baby in half. Don't be so attached to the baby that you can't function. That's not love. Love is not a feeling. That's ego. And you call it love. Oh, I'm so afraid. And I've been through that. I went through that with my son when he was little. I was so hurt. I didn't think I was going to make it in life. But it was all ego. It wasn't real. But I thought it was real. That's not love. Love doesn't hurt. And you don't have to make anything work. Life works on its own. You can't make a relationship work. Ladies and guys, if the relationship is not working naturally, it ain't working. You can't make it work. So just say to the woman or the man, okay, this thing ain't working. I'm out of here. Bye. And go work on your life. Don't make life so complicated by trying to make life work. You can't make life work. Life happens naturally. It really will happen on its own. It'll be amazing and greater than what you can even imagine. You don't know what you want and you don't know what you need. The only thing you know you need, in a practical sense, you want a house to live in, you want a job, you want some food on the table, and that's it. And a car to drive, and that's it. Practical stuff. Take a vacation once in a while. But other than that, life works on its own. You don't have to go to college for it. You need to go inside for that. All right.